Well, it's a huge deal recreating something like Shogun. What took so long? It's been a long time since that last version. It was it now exactly the right time, or has it been gestating for many years?
Mm.
Well, in the first place, I think it took us a long time to find the right team to work with. We had been approached many times along the 30 years since my father's died, roughly 25, 30 years. And never
Yeah.
found the right group until we came to FX, and then Justin and Rachel took this huge responsibility on, and it went quite quickly. It was only 3 years from there, but it took time to get, for us to get the right group together
Mhm.
from the estate's point of view. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we were really lucky when they jumped on board and sped things up with great enthusiasm.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I will
it,
say, it does seem like in hindsight that it just
Yeah.
all funneled down to this moment. I don't know how that is, but it does seem very um just well timed somehow. I don't know if it's just because of
Yeah.
hindsight, but
No,
yeah,
I think that's true. And you work so long on something and then all of a sudden it's done.
yeah.
I mean, it's been 8 years from the estate's point of view and a little bit
wow,
less for Justin and Rachel. And you sort of get used to it always being there. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's finished and it's unreal that it's over, done, cooked.
yeah. Well, it's quite the achievement because even probably through the actors' strike and the writers' strike, what you've accomplished. Was there ever any other thought to make it into a movie or always a series? Because I mean, it's so complex what we're watching.
Well, from the estate point
Yeah.
of view, it was a series. It needed the time to unfold everything. It's a complex story, a
Yeah,
complex novel, and so we knew it would be 6 to 10 to 12, somewhere in there. And then, of course, it ended up being the 10 hours that you've hopefully seen.
I have. I did. I watched it all over a couple
Oh,
of days.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
it, yeah, it's got a couple of, well, more than a couple, like relevant storylines as well, even for today. So, did you have to tweak it, to change it up a little bit from the novel? Because I know the original story had it's sanitized a little bit more than what this one was.
Hmm. I think that I mean the short answer is no. What's kind of amazing about the book is that when Rachel and I came to it, we were really surprised to find that it really had a lot to say for today.
Yeah,
We felt that this story of how we encounter other cultures and how we encounter ourselves within those cultures, and find maybe we have a place, maybe we don't have a place, and that balance is a really beautiful modern story. So in some ways, what we felt like we were doing was kind of re-excavating the text itself, and just highlighting what it was already saying today, which was quite refreshing,
yeah.
and not entirely what we expected to find in the book. It was really something that just felt truer today than ever before.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. You never thought of making it family friendly though, because some things can be sort of scaled down a bit, but there was no holds barred.
Did my mom tell you to ask this question?
Nope.
No, I think that just like the book, it's a very adult story. I think when it comes to violence, we have a philosophy. We neither want to celebrate violence, nor do we want to condemn it. We really wanted to reflect it as um, neutrally as possible, in a way that felt truthful to the time.
Mhm.
Good. I'm glad you did. And also the production design. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, when locations and the detail of the costumes and the weaponry. Firstly, did you have to train the actors into how to hold the weapons? I mean, that must have been tough in its own.
Mm. It depends. Yeah, it depends which actor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think you can
Yeah.
guess which one we received training from versus you know, us.
Yeah. But it was a very interesting process from the place of, a lot of our cast had done Jidaigeki period Japanese stories before. Some were new to it and needed a little more training. Because we shot this show in British Columbia, most of the background needed training to sort of move as authentically as possible. And Hiro Sanada, our star and producer, conjured a boot camp, if you will, that they went through for over a period of a few months leading up to start of production, where we not only trained them, but we actually started to pick out the best and bring them to certain roles, so that you see the kosho who are standing around the key characters. They were always the kind of the cream of the crop, and the ladies in waiting as well. It was a bit of a tryout as well as a training process that we put them through.
Well, everyone did an amazing job. Especially Anna caught my eye, and Cosmo in particular. I mean, the cast is grand. Did you have to go through an audition process, or as producers, did you have people in mind already?
I think Hiro is always
Yes.
the foregone conclusion.
Yeah, okay.
Hiro is Toranaga, is Hiro. It kind of seamlessly goes between the two, but with Anna and with Cosmo, this was a more twisted path.
Yeah. A really long search, and a really interesting search. Anna, what was being asked of the role of Mariko is nothing short of a miracle. You need an actress who behaves with nuance in Japanese, in English, cut to the human core at the center of it. Very difficult to find her. Felt like until we found our Mariko, we didn't have a show. And when it came to Cosmo as Blackthorn, I think, speaking at least from myself, but I feel we share this opinion that he was not at all what we expected Blackthorn to be like.
That's very true.
Yes.
It's very true. And yet I think at the time we sort of said in an odd way, there were many wonderful actors, but he was in many ways naturally very Blackthorn.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had the humor, just that's the way he is. He has this not naivety, but sort of this innocence about him that really brought something fresh that you couldn't write into the part.
Completely true. Yeah, there's like a purity to how he sees the world. And it's a very economic simplicity, and it drives towards Blackthorn's fixation on this horizon in front of him, which is both his greatest attribute, but also, his greatest flaw as the story goes on. So, it was he caught us by surprise, and he stole the role from our imaginations.
Yeah, he was irresistible, and the inflicted chemistry that those two had, perfect casting. I mean, everyone was great, but those two, in particular, Anna and Cosmo, thank you for that story. I'm glad you cast them.
Anna brought a great, and this was something they pointed out to me, she brought a great ferocity to Mariko, a great modern womanness to the part, without being modern, because she was authentic to the period. But there's just something in her that was very fierce and unapologetic in a modern way. And that was brilliant on your parts to see that.
I mean, I think we entirely, not lucked out, but we got very lucky with Anna, because she is like a unicorn. I mean, she has to be not only bilingual to a very high degree, but she also has to be bicultural. And so she transcends time, culture, language. I mean, she transcends all these things just as a person even. So I don't know, we're genius. We must be geniuses for having cast her.
You are.
Yeah. That's all this
genius for coming up with her.
Yeah.